Hello and welcome to Hot Takes. We've just been talking for 15 minutes about horrible stuff that will never make the edit. So today we're going to take on your hot takes just before the World Cup final. Should we get right into it? You pumped?
What's that I hear?
Oh, was I going to do the noise?
Yeah.
Whoop, woo.
Yeah, it's too late now.
We'll do that again. Do it again. Cut back in.
No, don't.
Okay, moving on. Whoop, woo. Arno K says England this World Cup. Won 3 against very weak opposition. Drawn 1 and lost 3. Will lose for 3rd, he says, in brackets. Barely scored a goal from open play. What think you of that? What's that about?
I don't think we were amazing, but we were good enough to get to the World Cup semi-final, and it's definitely an improvement on previous tournaments. I've only ever really seen England booed off the pitch after a shambolic performance at every major tournament. So it was nice to see some fun, some energy, and you know what? Some passion from England players that was directed in the right way. I thought Gareth Southgate handled himself brilliantly. Yes, we might not be the most talented on the field side, but we were good enough to get past most teams. And who gives a whether we're scoring from open play or set pieces? At the end of the day, either way, it ended up in the back of the net. If it was in a league season, yes, that might be troubling, but this is a 5-game tournament shootout. Get the over it. If I hear one more person say, oh, England only scored from set pieces, it doesn't make a difference.
All right, fuck cancer says, proper hot takes. Real Madrid should not look to replace Ronaldo this window, as anyone they go for would be overpriced. Bring the best out of Bale and Benzema and Asensio, Ceballos and co.
Wow.
That is insane.
It's just stupid.
Look, I am the person at Football Daily who basically always says, don't do anything fun, do something conservative for the future. But me, Real Madrid should not do that this time. They should go and spend 200 million quid on Mbappe. It would be the best thing that could happen. I think people forget sometimes that football is meant to be entertainment. I don't want these clubs to be run like sensible businesses. I want them to be run like... Yeah, no, that went badly. Let's do that again. Yeah, I just feel like it should be run kind of like a toy set by a deranged billionaire.
Although Toys R Us did go bust recently. So.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I want to happen to Real Madrid.
What I will say is they have to replace Cristiano Ronaldo because all of those players listed before, I don't think any of them can fill the void of 40 goals. I don't think Bale's a 40-goal-a-season player. Isco, Asensio, Ceballos, I don't care any of those names. Karim Benzema has passed his best now. I don't think any of them are 30 to 40-goal-a-season player like Cristiano Ronaldo. So you're going to have that big a void and not fill it. Are you mental? Go and find some goals, Perez.
And Real Madrid fans, like, they have the hankies out when they win a game like 2-1.
Exactly.
So, I mean, how are they going to respond to the fact when they've got Benzema leading the line next to Asensio and Lucas Vazquez?
Hanky sales in Madrid are going to go into overdrive. Cotton only, 100% pure
Overdrive.
Overdrive. Hankies.
Oh, God.
Wow, what's happening on this show?
This is bad.
This is awful.
This is so bad. Torian Philpott says Torreira will be signing off the season in the Premier League and Arsenal to finish above United.
Go on, you can take Torreira.
Hot takes. I think Torreira will be one of the better signings of the season because, frankly, Arsenal's expectations are so low in defensive midfield that he is going to blow them away by making the odd tackle, frankly. And I do think he's a really good signing. Arsenal to finish above United, unless something absolutely insane happens, I don't really see it. I mean, Mourinho is still probably a better coach than Emery. You're starting from a higher point.
Yeah.
I still think that, I don't know really, it just...
Mate, as talented as Arsenal squad is, Man United is more talented as well. Paul Pogba,
if you keep
Romelu Lukaku, Alexis Sanchez. I back Alexis Sanchez to have a decent summer after finally having a break. United aren't going to be brilliant next season. Arsenal, Torreira potentially, but I would have signing the summer so far as Fabinho at 35 mil. Unbelievable
it's
business.
A pretty good shout. Harrison Lewis says Modric should win the Ballon d'Or if Croatia win the World Cup.
I don't think so. As good as Modric has been at this World Cup, I still think France are going to win the tournament. If Croatia do win it, then he is in with a shout of winning the golden ball of the World Cup, the isolated World Cup. Although I still think N'Golo Kante has been better throughout this tournament.
I probably agree with that.
As for overall, it's going to be Cristiano Ronaldo, so what's even any point in talking about it? It is every year.
You know what? I think he deserves the Ballon d'Or this year.
Who?
Ronaldo.
Oh, yeah.
For going to Juventus.
Yeah, same.
I'm pumped about that for the first time in a long time.
And also, Modric is just kind of, he's good.
Yeah. Good argument, mate. Yeah, good one. Rinsed. Sneaky Footballer 82. That's the
like it.
That's the worst.
I like it because he's sneaky and he's a footballer.
Yeah. He says MLS is harder to manage than the rest of the world. I presume he means as a manager, it's more difficult in the MLS than in the rest of the world. That's ridiculous. I mean, the quality of player certainly makes it difficult, but realistically, MLS, it's not. Is it that hard? Like, it seems like they just pick players up at random. I suppose technically your club can just dump a bunch of like players in your lap who are 34 years old and washed up and say, make it work with Wayne Rooney. That would be annoying.
I mean, the most difficult league to manage in the world right now is the Premier League because it's got the highest calibre of managers. So you're matching yourself up against the best of your opposition. You look at the likes of Pep Guardiola, Conte's gone now, Jose's here, Unai Emery's arrived, Pochettino. The list goes on, and in the MLS, who are we talking here? Is Bob Bradley still big over there?
Yeah, Bob Bradley's taken over like LAFC, isn't he?
Precisely, mate. And how did he do it at Swansea?
Yeah, whereas you look at Serie A has good coaches as well, and the Bundesliga, there's so much innovation in the Bundesliga that you pretty much have to be adapting and getting better all the time because there are always 30-year-olds ready to take your job who are like innovators. So the thing is, like, if you can't come up with new ideas and ways to rebuild your side after you sell your stars to the Premier League, to La Liga, then in the Bundesliga, you're going to die really, really quick.
And if it's all about being like tough and not being able to spend much on players and stuff like that, the Championship, League 1, League 2 is as hard as they come down there. There's no budgets, there's little to no training facilities, which the MLS has in abundance. So I wouldn't even put it in like the top 10 most difficult leagues to manage in.
No, neither would I. Bull idiot. George Poland, he says Lukaku was better than Kane at this World Cup.
Oh,
how do you feel about this
one? I feel like Harry Kane wasn't potentially at his best.
I agree with that.
Despite the fact he scored a lot of goals, I didn't think he offered an awful lot in a lot of England games, other than potentially Colombia, I can think, where he made a real difference, and obviously Panama. Colombia, he was brilliant, his hold-up play was exceptional, but in the other games, not his biggest fan, whereas Romelu, I thought, played more better games than Harry Kane.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I know what you mean. Like Kane, I don't think it was Kane's fault necessarily, because without that dedicated open play creator, he was having to drop so deep that he wasn't getting the chance in the box. Like, I think in the World Cup, he's getting like 3 shots a game. In the Premier League, he's up around 6.
Yeah.
And that's because he's not having people make chances for him. On the other hand, Lukaku's the kind of guy who can do loads of other things for your side. So we saw him make that Kevin De Bruyne goal with an absolutely unbelievable run. We saw him make that Nacer Chadli goal against Japan with an incredible run and then a great dummy. I mean, Kane didn't really have the opportunity to do those things, but Lukaku just has dribbling ability that Kane simply doesn't have.
Yeah, I think Lukaku had a better tournament attacking-wise, but Kane did a lot for the team, did a lot for England. He sacrificed nearly his entire game for Southgate's system.
But let's say Kane finishes as top scorer, but you had to give the golden ball for the best player at the World Cup to one of those 2 players. I still go Lukaku, I think.
Oh, yeah, I'd probably go Lukaku. It's tough, though. It's very tough.
Anthony Mann says, Patrick Van Straten is pompous, quite possibly the most cynical and pessimistic football YouTuber on the platform. He does have the coolest name, so I guess that's a plus.
You are extremely cynical and very, very pessimistic.
I actually do resent the fact that he said quite possibly the most cynical.
Yeah, you are by far.
I'm clearly the most cynical. I've cultivated that quite well, I'd say.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't really understand what pompous means.
Well, in this situation, it means like full of yourself.
I don't think you're necessarily full of yourself that much, actually, mate. I'll give you that compliment, but you are annoyingly cynical and pessimistic, mate, about everything.
Do I have the coolest name?
You know what? I think Patrick Van Straten is potentially up there.
Hey, enjoy.
The next one was sent in by one of football Twitter's worst bastards. There's a fair few of them out there. I said another word before, but we've had to redo that. Effectively, yes, I do hate football Twitter. This one was sent in by @RapidEden. Oh. He's called Hani. He says, Modric has surpassed Xavi.
No, stupid. I'm sorry, I said that Modric was better than Iniesta months ago, and I've been getting about it on social ever since then. And now people, after Modric has had a good World Cup, are suddenly saying not only is Modric better than Iniesta, but he's also better than Xavi, who to my mind is the best game-controlling central midfielder of all time. Honestly, if you think this, just go back and find online some games from like 2009, 10 or whatever, and just watch Xavi be incredible. Like, Modric is amazing. I prefer watching Modric to Xavi, but do I think he's a better player? Is he? I'm sorry, like, He's now put himself in the conversation as one of the best central midfielders, certainly of the last 20, 30 years. But people have got to stop reacting this way in football. Like, whenever anybody does a good thing, they're immediately the greatest of all time. Oh, he's the greatest of all time. He's the greatest of all time. Like, you might have noticed that our opinion about who's the greatest of all time has stayed the same for 3 years. And that's because it's the same guy. You shouldn't be changing your opinion all the time. Not like this. Stupid.
So that's the end of Hot Takes this week. If you want to get your Hot Takes featured on this very show next week, tweet it to one of the Football Daily crew. I believe we usually send the tweet out on a Thursday or a Friday from the official Football Daily account. Pato, what else is happening on the network this weekend?
There is a Stat Wars OG edition, me versus Chris Hamill. We'll have a live watch along of the World Cup final, and of course, comments show, Football Mundial, all that good as usual on the channel.
Yes, go and check all of that out. Thanks so much for watching. Au revoir.